Big picture, 10 storylines for Cowboys and Falcons this Sunday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The worst time of to have watch a game. But we got our boy Nick Eatman bringing the heat, baby.
Yeah, we do it. We love Eat Me Out, Nick. Eat me out,
Eat
Nick.
me out, Nick.
Eat me out, Nick. We love Eat Me Out, Eatman. He's always bringing us the stories for us to steal the headlines from and then give our
respectable.
own
Like he gives these 5 points on the Falcons and the Cowboys.
Yeah,
like good work.
But
here's
the setup. Cowboys head to Atlanta for the first time since 2018, facing the Falcons team that is 5-3. Ooh, 2018. That's a nice drought. I guess Dak must have played in that game, so this would be potentially only a secd time playing.
I think
Atlanta.
he got sacked 6 or 7 times that game, 6 by one player, by the same dude.
And the Cowboys are 3-4. We know this, and here are the Big Ten storylines. We're going to start with 5 from the Falcons. Do you just want to kind of toss this ball back and forth?
Yeah, I'll go here. Falcons just completed a season sweep of the NFC South rival Tampa Bay, improving to 5-3 in first place spot in the division. The Falcons are already 2 wins away from equaling last year's win total and a 7-10 finish, so they've improved big time in this 1 year. They only had 7 wins all of last year, which is crazy.
Wow.
The turnaround can be credited to many things, such as a better running game and an opportunistic defense, but most of the praise falls on the addition of veteran Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, and look.
And you got it. I mean, it has to land on the quarterback like that.
I've liked Kirk Cousins ever since we watched that quarterback show.
Yeah, he was good in that. You would never even know, if you talked to him, you would never even known he was a professional football player.
Absolutely not. No, he's just such
his music scenes.
Oh,
like from high school when he's in the whatever song singing.
Yeah. I also loved this any scene with his wife. I just felt like they were very complimentary to each other, nice and quiet, and she would just say kind of like 1 or 2 things to him, and that was that. After he had a bad game or something like that,
Yeah.
Just a nice story. But hey, this Sunday at 10 a.m. Get your popcorn ready.
Kirk's going downtown, baby. Yeah. But very impressive turnaround, 1 year turnaround from the Falcons.
Absolutely. It shows you what a quarterback can do. And fortunate enough for the Cowboys, they've kind of gone back to back with Romo to Dak Prescott. And that is something that's really hard to land on. As much as people might hate on Prescott right now, and he is not necessarily playing up to expectations in terms of keeping the ball safe for them boys, but you don't just walk into a 4th-round pick, Dak Prescott.
Kirk Cousins 4th-round pick.
Yeah, the real battle of the 4th round.
Battle of the fourthies.
But we gotta still be happy about having a quarterback who can throw a ball right now. I'm not saying you couldn't improve on it. You can improve on Patrick Mahomes too, but
if that
it's
comes
got to be available.
If that comes out, and I'll ask when we get to the Cowboys stuff. I'll ask when we get to the Cowboys stuff.
Don't forget. There was the next point here, next storyline point. There was plenty of scrutiny on the Falcons quarterback position back in the spring when they not only added Cousins but then drafted Michael Penix with the number 8 overall pick.
Woo!
Real quick,
that's crazy that they did that.
They did that, and I remember when it happened, but haven't heard a lot of noise about it.
Because they're 5-3, and
mind you, maybe in Falcons Nation they hear.
Well, but it's because you're 5-3, and Kirk Cousins has 14 touchdowns with 7 interceptions. If they're and we're just playing devil's advocate. Yeah. If they're 4 and whatever, 4 and 4, or even worse, 3 and 5. I guarantee you're hearing some noise. But right now, Kirk Cousins basically saying to the naysayers, "Hey, step back," and it's actually making you look like maybe they should have used that 8th-round pick. That 8th overall pick to better the team and try to either better the offense or help out the defense.
Yeah, and unless they think that there's something really special in Penix that they can coach. But yeah, that's not our problem. That's your problem, Atlanta. You deal with that. Cousins isn't looking over his shoulder. He's too busy carving up defenses. Just last week, Cousins again torched the Bucs, throwing for 3 TDs in a road win. He became the first player in NFL history to pass for 8 touchdowns against a single team in one season. Wow,
that's surprising.
So he threw 5 before, I guess.
You would have thought at some point that would have happened, like Tom Brady playing the Jets at some point, twice a year forever. Yeah. That's crazy. Yes. I would have expected it to be more. Okay, Bijan Robinson ranks 9th in the NFL with 546 rushing yards, and 2 of his top 3 performances have occurred in his last 3 weeks, including a 103-yard performance in Seattle. I said this. I could see the Falcons being the 5th team this season to rush for more than 200 yards against the Cowboys, setting a Cowboys record for worst amount of rush totals by teams in a season.
Would that set the record?
That would be 5 times it happened against the Cowboys.
Okay.
They're right now, they're tied.
And still more to go.
They're tied for 4 right now. It happening 4 times, and they still have 10 games left. And they have some good guys. They haven't played Saquon Barkley. They haven't played Bijan Robinson. They haven't played against the running backs in Washington, right? So you got to think there's someone in the next 10 games going to put up 200 against the Cowboys.
And you know what? I don't want to even worry about it if I'm the Cowboys. Go out there.
Let them run 200 yard times.
Let them run and then shut down Kirk Cousins. And if you can do that, then the rushing yards isn't a big deal. It's just another stat in history that no one's really going to look back on anyways. But for your team right now, having Bijan coming in, playing hot, maybe stepping into the player who, because when Bijan was drafted, I was like pretty excited to watch him play football.
Oh yeah.
I think he didn't come off on
Arthur Smith was that their coach last year, head coach, whatever the hell their head coach's name last year, just did not utilize him.
Yeah, they made some shifts too in their offseason, and look at the turnaround that's happening.
New head coach, different offensive mindset. Bijan's 9th in rushing yards. Could jump up a couple spots after this week against the Cowboys.
Yeah, 103-yard performance. So I think it's good to, like, let's not get too wild if Bijan goes off and has a 5-6 yard average and gets 100 yards, and their team as a whole gets 200 yards. It's about winning the football game. I could care less about that stat at this point if they can get the dub.
Yeah, let them rush. Let them rush for 200 yards. You just have to score touchdowns.
Please score
touchdowns. Please.
Throw an interception for all I care. Just win the damn football game.
Yeah, just please win. Just for the love of
all
the man upstairs.
For Adam
and for the love of the man downstairs, Clayton.
Yeah, that's right, Clayton. And if you guys want BW1 back here, the Cowboys need to score. He said he's not coming back until Cowboys score another touchdown. So
he did say that.
Is this mine or yours? Mine. The Falcons are not considered a heavy pass rush team as they rank last in the league.
I did say this.
This is positive.
I did say this.
They rank last in sacks with just 6, despite acquiring Matthew Judon in a trade with the Patriots. Judon, who has 68 career sacks, has just 1.5 sacks this season.
So that's been an epic, like, you brought this guy in and kind of maybe expected that you didn't need to now target a pass rusher at 8, right? That's one of the reasons you don't think you have to go out and get a premier pass rusher, because you brought in this Matt Judon who's been very good at rushing the quarterbacks. Like you can see, he had 68 career sacks prior to this, but 1.5 sacks over the first 8 games is not a very good average. That's a sack every 4 quarters, basically. Sorry, not even. That's 0.25 of a sack.
Yeah,
essentially. So not great. So
no, but it bodes well for the Cowboys, like we were talking about with Dak Prescott's being pressured, I think, quite a bit more maybe than he's experienced in the past, and might be a little bit used to being able to kind of hang out in the pocket a little bit more. Also, adding on that he's certainly showing the less amount of enthusiasm to run the ball this season, I think, than anyone else. This is good. We want him to have time in the pocket. A lot of the passes, maybe he just needs that extra half second, and that is a major big difference in the NFL when you look at quarterback release times and see how that 0.5 of seconds can really make a huge difference, right?
From the top to the bottom, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So this is good news. What we don't want, though, of course, is Matthew Judon to remember, oh, yeah, I was traded for this role, and then he comes in and gets 3.5 sacks.
Yeah, 3 sacks, no doubt. Okay, and then they're moving on to tight end. Kyle Pitts has come on strong lately, including last week's game in which he caught 2 touchdowns against the Bucs. I knew this because he was very pivotal in my fantasy football win. Kyle Pitts has been known to not score many touchdowns since he's been in the NFL. He has 3 on the season, 2 coming last week. So he's starting to ramp up a little bit. Pitts had just 8 catches in his first 4 games of the season, but has 21 receptions in the last 4, showcasing the talents that made him such a lucrative draft commodity when he was picked number 4 overall back in 2021. So you look at that, he's more than doubled his receptions in the last 4 games prior to the first 4. That's an impressive arc.
It says a lot because it shows either a growing confidence or they made some adjustments to help Kyle Pitts become more effective in that offense. So it's someone to definitely watch.
Please don't put Dono Dub on him.
Don't put Dono Dub on him. Who is going to play against Pitts then? That's a good question.
Malik Hooker. I think Malik Hooker has to be the guy picking him up most of the time. Maybe Overshown can run with him a little bit. He's a fucking athletic freak. He is. He's an athletic freak.
That's a really tough one because I would say Overshown just because I think it's like, look, I think he could probably match him better. And then with the distance to get to him.
And can still pop him.
Makes the most sense. But at the same time, I don't want to take away what Overshown's been doing in the middle of the field because of how important him and Kendricks are to making stops. Sure, they might run for 10 yards, but at least they bring them down at the 10-yard line.
Are we all rocking Overshown jerseys on Sunday?
Hell yeah, I just got mine in.
So, yeah, mine too. I saw mine over there. You got the blue one?
Blue. 13.
I got white. What color does that have? I don't even remember. Does he have color rush maybe Overshown?
White, I think.
Okay.
He also has white.
Maybe I got the color rush. I can't remember. Anyways.
Did one of us get color rush?
I thought so because I thought all 3 of us got... Or no, maybe Ad got the Thanksgiving Day one. Anyways, we all got Overshown jerseys. I think I haven't worn a jersey since the week 2 or the week... I think the Ravens lost.
Yeah.
Granted, I wore a Romo jersey.
Had to.
At the San Fran game. I'm going to rock an Overshown. We're getting back in the W column this week, baby.
Yeah.
We're getting one of these. And that's not for the Commanders. That's for the W that we're about to get.
And we saw you, Commanders, by the way. We saw you calling us out. We saw you calling Cowboys Nation saying we want Dallas. It was weird.
After a fluke fucking Hail Mary.
After a fluke Hail Mary, it was, number one, it was weird. That Hail Mary was awesome, though.
It was pretty cool. It would kind of suck to see Dan Quinn running down, cheering for a Noah Brown game-winning touchdown. Oh. It was like a double kick. It was like a kick that got you in both balls.
That's right. If someone told you 2 years ago or 3 years ago, because whenever Noah Brown was last on the...
Yeah, 2 years. I think his last season with the Cowboys was 2022.
If someone told you, hey, in the future, we're going to see Noah Brown catching a game-winning touchdown against an opponent on a Hail Mary and Dan Quinn's going to be celebrating,
I'd be stoked.
Exactly. Well,
and then
fast forward,
the catch is it's like, hey, we told you it was going to happen.
Yeah, we told you,
but it's for the 6-2 Washington Commanders. Crack him if you got him.
Well, hey, for whatever reason, reading these storylines, I do feel a little bit better at this point.
Yeah,
going into play the Falcons. They
match up. They match up.
They're
matching
up nicely.
They match up nicer than they do like a Lions,
or a 49ers.
Or we knew the Cowboys were going to get, I hate to say it, more than likely lose to the Lions. Get spanked out like they did, maybe not.
No, not spanked out like they did.
I still think, and I'm just a sucker for abuse, I guess, because I'm just not off the wagon yet. I'm not off the Cowboys, the attempt to make a postseason run, because if they can get a win here, it shows me that they can beat the Falcons are 100% going to be in the postseason. If the Cowboys can hang with them in their own stadium and beat them, why can't they go on to make the postseason?
I agree with you in that if I'm looking at just purely the record 3-4, it's like, yeah, you can still come out and make the playoffs. Absolutely, playoffs. It's watching these games, seeing how Eagles and Washington are doing. Those things add up a little. But again, I agree with you. A lot rides on this game. Cowboys come out with the victory. In my mind, nothing changes for expectations on the season.
Yeah,
still can make a playoff run. Playoffs. Now, much less confidence in their ability to go deep this season. But things could, like if something starts clicking, we saw what happened with CeeDee Lamb, and I know he's a phenomenal talent.
Had a great game last week, 148 yards, 2 touchdowns, 13 catches.
Yeah, and I actually looking at Tolbert, I'm just like, it's not that they're not using him enough. It's not that he's not playing well enough. He's making, a lot of his catches. He was 4 for 4 last week. And in a guy like his position, when CeeDee Lamb's getting 17 targets, like I think that's on a low end of reasonable.
That might be his ceiling.
Right.
But let's say his ceiling's if CD's getting 17 targets, let's be honest, Tolbert's ceiling is 6 at targets.
Probably.
If CD's getting 17 of those passes, I think 6 targets to Tolbert's pretty close to his ceiling.
Because then there's got to be a handful of passes to other guys.
There's gonna be 5 to Ferguson, 4 to Turpin, 3 to Brooks, 3 to Zeke. You know, like
suddenly you're at 30 fucking.
You're already at 30. Yeah. You're at 30 to 35 targets right there.